gotta tell you about a weekend of insanity with another Violent Community YouTube channel. Everybody's friend, my pal, Mike from MGK Boston. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. A weekend of insanity with Mike from MGK Boston. What do I mean by insanity? Whew, boy did we get into it. We went to a record show, a concert. A week ago, Mike was in town. For those that don't know, Mike's in Buffalo, not Boston, despite his channel moniker. But Mike is a Canadian, and his wife and I are from the same hometown. I still live here, and Patty's parents still live here. So they come up quite frequently. And the impetus for this trip, aside from just seeing Patty's family, was to go to a concert. Because not so long ago, like a little over a year ago, I guess, I got them turned on to a band out of Hamilton, Ontario that I love called Whitehorse, who I've talked about a ton on my channel. And we went to a Whitehorse concert last summer. And well, lo and behold, Whitehorse was playing in my hometown again. And Mike and Patty bought tickets, and I bought a ticket, and we went. So that was the whole impetus for the weekend. As luck would have it, that was on the Sunday night. On the Saturday, totally by chance, there just happened to be a record show here in town. And it was 2 blocks from Mike and Patty's parents' house. So, of course, Mike and I had to go. And we had a fantastic time. It's a show I hadn't been to before. There's 2 record shows in my town, neither of which are huge by any means, because this is not a big town. But this one was at the Red Chevron Club. And it's the first time it had been there. It had previously been at a smaller venue. So, didn't really know what to expect. But Mike and I went. Boy, was it great. We both blew through our budgets, I think, pretty quickly. I found some fantastic stuff, and I know Mike did as well. I'm going to show you what I picked up. I usually try to pace myself and go around the show once, because you don't want to spend everything at the first place you're at. But I did buy something at the first vendor that I saw, and I bought this album. This is an album called Neruda by Red Rider. I've talked about Red Rider before, fronted by Tom Cochrane, who quite legendary and revered singer-songwriter, and I have a great story and video about how I met him recently. This is their album from 1983. This was after their monstrously successful album as far as Siam. Everyone raves about how good this record is, so I bought it having not heard anything off of it, because I don't think there's any hits on here that I can think of. At any rate, everyone raves that this is, a fantastic Red Rider album, so I had to buy it. And it's in great shape. It's barely been played. There's not even a mark on the cover. There's no ring wear. There's flawless condition. And the guy wanted $5 for it, so bought it right away. I've listened to it. It's good. Is it as good as other Red Rider albums? No, I don't think so. And maybe I need to give it some more time to understand why it's so revered as their best album. I don't think it is, but anyway, I've been looking for this for a while. So Red Rider's Neruda. I've mentioned before that I'm a big fan of early Linda Ronstadt. And the good thing about her albums is you could always find them very cheap, because nobody ever seems to want them for some reason. So I picked up Hasten Down the Wind, which is her album from 1976. And I think the only hit off of here, there were 2, I think. There was her cover of the Buddy Holly song, That'll Be the Day. And Someone to Lay Down Beside Me was the other one that was kind of a minor hit for her. So one of the only early Linda Ronstadt albums that I didn't have. And I think this was a $5 purchase too. So again, great shape for a 40-year-old record. So, but again, Linda Ronstadt records are a dime a dozen. I don't know why. I think she's got an incredible voice. I have been looking for some of the early Guess Who albums for a while. Wheatfield Soul, I've been looking for quite a while. And the other one I've been looking for is Canned Wheat. So this was, I don't know, 1970, I don't know. This is the one that had, as you can see here, contains the hit Laughing. That was a big hit for them. So was Undone. Love the early Guess Who stuff. So I've got some live stuff and I've got American Woman, but I'm missing those early studio albums. So when I saw this, I think I paid maybe $10 for this. And again, look at the cover on this one. And the record's in just as good a shape. So another steal as far as I was concerned. I'll save my favorite find for last. I picked this up, Bon Jovi's New Jersey, an original pressing. Not that that means much, but what I'm saying is it's not a reissue. I like Bon Jovi, but I didn't have New Jersey. I've seen, the reissues for 35, 40 bucks, but I didn't want it badly enough that I would pay for that. So I was just waiting to stumble across an OG of this one, which I did get. This has Lay Your Hands on Me, Bad Medicine, Born to Be My Baby, and I'll Be There for You were the 4 big hits off this record from 1988. So glad to add this finally to the collection. And my favorite find from the show, there was a table that Mike had looked at when we crossed paths in the show. And he goes, oh, there's some great stuff over there. And none of it was sleeved, and it was cheap. And I generally, rightfully or wrongfully, I guess, I usually don't bother flipping through those bins because usually they're garbage. And if they don't care to sleeve them, I often wonder what kind of condition they're in. But it's like, Mike's not quite done looking. I'll look through this table. Well, did I not find Delaney and Bonnie? To Bonnie from Delaney. This was their third album because there was Home, and then there was the Live with Eric Clapton album, and this was the third album. I've become a massive fan of Delaney and Bonnie. I've talked about it in other videos. They're kind of, they're friends with Clapton, Duane Allman, George Harrison, and a host of other people. So their albums are fantastic, and it's kind of a rootsy rock kind of thing. Duane Allman plays guitar on this, and Little Richard plays piano on this record. Fantastic. Again, really good shape. And the guy wanted $5 for this. What a steal. Absolutely thrilled to find this record. So that was our show, and it was great. Mike and I sort of finished at about the same time, and I go, how'd you do? He goes, spent my budget. I go, me too. So we left there and we went and had some lunch, which was a lot of fun. Dropped Mike back off at his in-laws. And then we met up the next day to go see Whitehorse in concert. Whitehorse were playing at a concert venue that's relatively new in this town. It's a place called the Sonic Hall. It's upstairs above a bar in an old building that used to be a bank. And I've not been there before. They only opened 6 months ago, maybe. And there's been some decent names come through there in the last 6 months, but I've just never gone for various reasons. So I picked Mike and Patty up, and free parking down the street, which was nice because it was a Sunday night. And we went there, and it's basically the entire second floor of a, like a 100-year-old bank building. And there's a bar in the middle at the one end, and there's a stage at the other end. And I think there had to be 300 people there probably, which was great. And we got a spot, standing room only, of course, right beside the stage. So our view was great. Yes, from the side, but who cares? We were 10 feet from Luke and Melissa, which was amazing. I've talked about Whitehorse a lot. They have, 6 or 8 records, and everyone's kind of different. I'm going to show this one for Mike's benefit. Mike, you might want to check this out. This is called The Northern South, Volume 1 and 2. This was their 2 blues EPs put together on one record. And it looks like that. It's very good, like all their records are. They had just finished touring for their country album. This is blues. There's a bunch of others, kind of a folky one, and so on. This is what they were touring for, and I don't think they played anything off of this. They did 2 sets, and it was just them guitar. There was no bass, no drums, no anything. It was just them, 2 guitars, which worked great. Melissa played acoustic. Luke played electric. Luke is known for playing a Gretsch White Falcon. It's kind of his signature. He did play that. Highlight of the show for me is there's a song off their second album that is my favorite called Peterbilt Coal Mine, which they had never played before. And they even said, we have never played this before. We've kept putting it off. And they played it, and it was awesome. only thing I picked up at that show, they didn't have a lot. They had their country album on vinyl. I have all their albums on vinyl. And they had some CDs, and I bought a CD. I know, what a weird thing for me to say because I'm not a big CD fan. I bought this. This is their French EP. I speak a little bit of French, but my pronunciation sucks. Éphémère sans repère, Devil's Got a Gun, which was a single off of their album, The Fate of the World Depends on This Kiss, which has a similar cover from the same photo shoot. This is 6 songs. 5 of them had been previously released on their first 2 records, but these were French recordings of those songs. And then a new song called Le Cadeau, which means the present or the gift. Great song. I really liked it, actually. I picked this up because I'm a Whitehorse completist, and this was the only thing that I didn't have. I speak enough French that if I really concentrate, I can get the gist of it. So great to have this CD to add to the collection. So Whitehorse was a blast. I loved it. Mike and Patty loved it. And more importantly, I got to hang out with Mike and Patty because they're 2 of my favorite people. That was a lot of fun. So that was our wild and crazy adventure. Can't wait to see Mike again. We'll likely be at the pre-party festivities because I can't be at the main party at Mike's this summer because I have to go in a business trip. But I'm going to try and make it down a couple days before as some of the folks are getting there. I'm sure I'll see Mike and Patty soon enough as they come up here to see Patty's family frequently. So anyway, guys, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed seeing you. Can't wait to do it again. I'll leave a link to Mike at MGK Boston. Check out some of his stuff. That's everything for me today, everybody. Catch you on the flip side.